Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
Welcome back to Living Local Carolina, everyone. I have a friend in the house, Lion Flood. You're a magician.
Yes, I have been trying my whole life to attain that little status when the hands glow. Haven't got there yet, but yeah.
I think you have. And you've got a trick to show us today, right?
Yes, I've got a few, and one of the things that I've really been focusing on is really just being more intimate, having someone understand that the magic is in their hands. And so I'll start off with showing you one very quick one, really quick, using simply a cup and a die. What I like for you to do is take both of those items really quick, place the die inside of the cup, ensuring there's nothing sticky, no tricky stuff or anything like that, right?
No.
Shake and rattle and roll, perfect. What I wanna do is I wanna show you that the die is gonna go through the portal at the cup. I've learned that if I squeeze it at a certain point that opens up, I throw it through. Would you do me a favor and place your hand flat just like that? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not gonna be able to see it happen from there, but you will be able to see her reaction when she notices that the die is no longer in my hand, travels through that hole and runs into her hand. On a count of three. 3, 2, 1.
I just felt it.
You felt it drop? That's
How
called
did you do
gravity.
that?
That's good.
Every time I ask, how did you do that? But he's never going to tell me, of
Right.
course. It's all a secret, but this is all about close-up magic where
Yes.
people can really feel like they're involved in it.
Exactly. I want to use their items. I want them to be able to go home and tell a story to their family and friends when they're like, I don't know. That's not the case. So to show you another quick one, if you don't mind.
Okay,
All right,
go
we're going to use her phone this time. Would you take out your phone for me?
Sure.
And I'm going to show you, everyone else, something that's going to be happening. While we do that, are you familiar with the cards? Or the playing cards, ace through king and type like that?
Yes.
Okay, I just want you to think of a playing card right now. 3, 2, 1, got it?
Got it.
All right, what's the first thing that came to your mind?
Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts. So now here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna show you all my Wi-Fi. I have a static electricity. If I rub my foot a little close, watch what happens here. As this starts to flicker, and watch what happens. The Wi-Fi starts to change to your card.
Oh, I don't like that.
But that's
How
my
did you
phone.
do
That's my
that?
phone. Wait, can you go to your Wi-Fi settings?
Yeah.
I don't think this can, is it? Because if it's on my phone, I'm a magician. But if it's on
It's on
her
my phone, too.
the card that she thought of is on her
What on
phone.
earth? How did you know I was going to think? I promise I didn't tell him. You're too good. You're too good.
I try.
Freaky stuff. I love it. Okay, well, where can people come and see you?
Yes, so now we have the Asher Theater on Saturdays, 4 p.m., doing matinees, an intimate 20-25 seat theater where they have hors d'oeuvres, people can have drinks, a great date night. Asher Theater is where I'm at currently now.
Perfect. Where can people get tickets and stuff?
Yes, you have to call the show right now because they've been selling out so much. They've been putting people on the wait list. So you can call the show, call the theater and ask, and they will get you on the list.
All right, tell me about the show.
Okay, so the show is set from my life story. Most people don't know. First off, I'm a retired devil dog, Marine Corps. Hoorah! I got into magic when I was injured. I had 4 knee surgeries, 3 back surgeries, laying up in the hospital, had to learn to re-walk over a year. First time I smiled is when I saw a magic trick online, and then I started saying, I want to learn it. They started to wheel patients into my room, and I did magic tricks for them. Eventually, when I was able to be wheeled out, they wheeled me into patient's room, started doing magic tricks, so it was almost like a therapy session.
Yeah.
And I've based the show around that because I wasn't able to walk. I had to do things in people's hands, and so I said, that's what my heart did.
That's
so I did it.
awesome. My mom is a PT, so she
Oh.
will love to hear about this.
Yes.
That you were bringing people happiness, even when you were still trying to get back on your feet.
Then one time my PT told me, bend the knee.
Yeah, they're not so nice all the time. My mom's just tough as nails.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Grand Strand Dentistry. Well, welcome to Living Local Carolina, everyone. Today I'm at Grand Strand Dentistry and I'm joined by Dr. Swenson. Thanks for chatting with me today.
Yes, happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here and learn more about you guys and what you're all about. There's a long list of things that y'all offer, but why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and about the practice?
Well, personally, I just moved here from Arizona, and the practice is just based on working in technology, keeping up on current practices, and honestly saving time for the patients. Time is a big deal. I mean, most of the time when you go get something done, it's like you're going to be, rerouted, rescheduled. We really try to work everything to where we can do everything on the same day as much as possible. Quick scenario, let's just say you need to get a crown. You come in, we scan it in, we mill out the crown, we cement it on, you go home, you're done. You're not here for 2 appointments. We try to get that all done within 2 hours. Sometimes we can get it done quicker, sometimes it takes a little longer. Humans are different. Each one of them is individual, and they present individual challenges. From there, we've actually gone to, what can we do to some of the patients that have different prosthetics, say like dentures. And we've got into 3D printing to where we could 3D print the dentures.
Wow.
And so we can do that. We could do it in a day, but it would take the whole day. So we just generally try to schedule it a little couple days later, but we can get it done fairly quickly. And the accuracy and the things that we can do is much better because we're able to use 3D technology to line everything up and also just create a better fit.
Yeah.
And, there's still discrepancies with each individual, but it does a much better job than we were able to do before. From there, we've gone to different CAD/CAM techniques for different milling units and bigger prosthetics and things like that. That just gets really technical. So
I was going to say, the viewers may not know all these terms that you're saying.
No. And probably another thing is like, it's hard to get extractions around here. Dr. Armstrong and myself, we're old. We started out doing extractions, and that's what we do. We do a lot of extractions. So even sometimes, if you don't want to be awake, we can schedule an anesthesiologist to come here and get your extraction done.
Gotcha.
If you're into that kind of thing.
Well, let's say there's a scenario where unfortunately somebody loses a tooth.
Right.
You guys can do implants here as well.
Correct.
Tell me all about that.
Implants, it's kind of fun because like I said earlier, I'm older than dirt. So back in the 80s, I worked in a dental lab, and that's when honestly the implants started showing up. So we'd get these implants to come in. We'd have to create these prosthetics for them. And that's when I really got interested in it. And I was probably about 16 at the time.
Wow.
So from there, I picked a dental school that allowed the general dentist to place implants at that school, Creighton University, at that time. And then from there, I've just learned more and more and more and more as time goes on. And there's just so many applications for implants. I mean, most people are aware of what they can do, and it's really exciting.
Well, how does it feel whenever you have a patient that comes in and they, were experiencing pain or they lost a tooth and you guys were able to give them their smile back?
Well, let's back that up. First thing, they're coming in pain. So the first thing we want to do is get them out of pain.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing. It's like people come to the dentist and a lot of times they're not in good shape.
Yeah.
So, we get them out of pain, get rid of the infections, and then go on to the restorative part. Give them their smile back. So many people are walking around with bad smiles and they don't like it. It's self-conscious. I mean, they just, they don't know it, but everybody looks at your teeth.
It's true.
And they don't know they do it, but everybody does it. But we're able to do that, and a lot of people, like some people, you give them their restoration and they cry, but that's exciting, and that's nice as well.
All right. Well, I appreciate you chatting with me and letting me know a little bit more about Grand Strand Dentistry. So if one of our viewers is watching right now and they want to learn a little bit more about you guys, where can they find you online?
GrandStrandDentistry.com.
This portion of Living Local Carolina was sponsored by Grand Strand Dentistry. Well, welcome back to Living Local Carolina. Today I'm joined by Quadre Stuckey. We're talking about beautiful, beautiful artwork with a rich cultural heritage. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. I'm blessed. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me today.
We're going to do a lot of fun stuff, but first I want to get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
I want you to kind of walk me through your creative process when it comes to this.
So when it comes to my creative process with the artwork, I like to visualize what I'm going to do first in my mind, and then I like to, draw it and sketch it on the canvas. And then once I sketch it on the canvas, I like to add that paint to bring it to life.
And you have quite a history.
Yes.
Why did you get into art in the first place?
I would say art is like my God-given talent. It wasn't something I had to try hard with. It was something that would naturally come to me that just kind of flows easy. So I wanted to use that and share my gift with the world.
I would say that when you look at your art, I was taking a look at your portfolio, and
Yes.
a lot of it is so striking.
Yes.
You have such a unique look.
Yes.
How would you describe your art, though?
I mean, I would describe my art as kind of like a mixture between like contemporary pop art and then low country Gullah lifestyle series. That's what I say, because that's our history and rich culture in Charleston, South Carolina, where I'm from. So it's about that Gullah lifestyle, maintaining the culture and the heritage. So I'm just telling the story through my artwork.
Why is that important to you?
I feel like it's important because if you don't tell your own story, somebody else will tell your story and control your narrative. So it's better for you to keep your own history and pass it down to the generations to come, like your grandkids, your great grandkids, and your children, to let them know where they came from and what you did to make it here where you're at today.
And how does it feel whenever people see your art for the first time?
It feels amazing because, with artwork, it speaks to everybody different. You know what I'm saying? People get happy, people get excited, people get, filled with joy. So, I mean, me inside, that's just a good, heartwarming feeling that I feel every time that people see it, experience it, and then they just love it and fall in love with it.
And what would you say is the toughest part of the process for you?
The toughest part of the process was, I'd probably say, selling it, because, these are like my kids, and then somebody wants to buy it, you gotta let it go and then not look back. But, at the same time, I could just paint another one.
And speaking of, if someone is interested in purchasing your art or taking a look,
Yes.
How can they do that?
Well, they could go online to my website, www.quaddesigns.net, or they could go onto my nonprofit site, www.GullaGeeChee.FamilyFoundation.com, purchase the artwork.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Quadre. I appreciate you visiting me today.
Definitely.
Well, welcome back to Living Local Carolina, everyone. I have an author in the studio, John. Thank you so much for being here with me
Thanks
today.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, let's get right into it. You wrote this book called Visited Mom Today, and it's about your own personal experience with your mother, amongst other stories. Tell me all about it.
Sure. So my mother was diagnosed about 16 years ago with Alzheimer's, and for 13 of those years, she was in a memory care unit. And so the last 8 years, she also was nonverbal. And so I would take her to different areas in the nursing home, and I would have her sit with other residents, and I would talk to them. And these are a collection of the stories of the sweet, poignant, funny stories that some of the residents and I had.
I feel like that's something you don't see very often when we're talking about this terrible disease. Are good, fun moments too. So do you have anything that sticks out from the book, maybe?
Well, first of all, that is exactly right. I think there's so much out there about the science, and there's so much out there about the symptoms and what to look for, but there's really not a human side to Alzheimer's or dementia, so I think that's sort of where that fits. There was one woman that really sticks out for me. She was a nurse in her real life, and when she became a resident at the nursing home in the memory care unit, she thought she was working as a nurse. So she would greet me every time I came at the elevator and tell me how my mother was doing that day, and then would take me, down the hall to check in, and she was just in her element. And really the key to having these discussions is really you have to step into their world because they can no longer step into ours.
That's such a good point. Well, how long did it take for you to write the book?
It was over a period of the 8 years. And what I did was, these were Facebook posts that I did. And so they really started out as just posts for my friends to read and hear what was happening with my mother, and these kind of funny, sweet stories. And over time, people said, you have so many of these, you should be putting them in a book or a collection. And that's really what made me do the book.
I love when there's stories like that where the stories are so good you have to write a book about it,
Right. Exactly.
Well, I know somebody watching right now is going to want to know where they can find this.
Sure.
Where can they find the book?
You can get the book right now on Amazon, and you can just search for Visited Mom Today, and it should come right up.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
I'm so excited to be joined by Chef Sean Baxter. So, what's the second thing you're going to be making
Okay,
for
so
me?
the second dish that we're going to try to make for you guys today is going to feature two local products. One of them is going to be our local shrimp, and like I said earlier, it took me 2 years to source this shrimp to find them in the same size, uniform, that will look aesthetically what we're looking for and have all of the requirements we have, you know, which is local, fresh, things like that. The company that I sourced them from is known as the Woods Fishery, and they've actually been in business since 1860. So over 145 years of customer service.
They know their stuff.
These are wild caught American shrimp. They're caught off of Tybee Island, Georgia.
Okay.
Okay. The second product we have is we're going to use a purple grit.
Gorgeous.
Okay. And that is from Jacksonville, Florida, and I believe
Cool.
that they're grown and manufactured in Florida, and then they're sent to Charleston for packaging.
Okay, sweet.
So it's kind of like a double kiss on that one. So this is what they look like. Now listen, they're a little smaller than the shrimp that you might see in some places where they're really big. Well, due to the way we get them, there's nothing added to them. They're not treated with chemicals.
Yeah.
So they're smaller, but they're fully packed with flavor, and they're absolutely delicious.
All right.
Okay.
And who doesn't love shrimp and grits, you
Yeah,
know,
right?
especially here in the
Classic dish.
South.
This is what they're gonna look like after you take them off and clean them and shell them up.
You start with the grits?
We're gonna go ahead. You want to cook your grits because your grits will take you about 40 minutes to cook to make true grits, real grits. You can use instant grits if you want. That's up to you. So you got to make sure that your stock or water, you can cook it in either one, is boiling. Stock, chicken stock would be your most neutral. So we have our water nice and boiling, and we're gonna use water because a lot of our guests might be vegetarian. So they'll be able to eat it if I don't use stock. Right, so you're gonna wanna make sure your water's boiling and seasoned. You're just gonna go ahead and incorporate your grits in as fast as your water will take them, meaning don't have them start clumping up on you, okay?
Yeah.
And make sure that you whisk it, okay, continuously and until it's thicker, and then once it's thicker, you're gonna turn it down.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And that's when it starts cooking for a long time.
Yes. All right. So,
All right, make me these shrimp.
So I'm gonna cook the shrimp now. I'm gonna sear the shrimp. So once again, I'm gonna want a nice hot pan, saute pan, cast iron skillet. I always season my shrimp before I put them in, or before I put them in the pan. I think it's easier to coat them evenly. Some people do them the opposite way. All right, so you can use a couple different things to cook your shrimp. You can use olive oil or a blended oil, butter. I like to use a combination.
Gotcha.
Gives it a little more color and a little more flavor. I'm gonna go ahead and whisk this. Okay, so first I'm gonna put a little olive oil in the pan. Not too much because we're not frying them. Okay. With my butter. Let this come up to the heat.
What do you want on the plate?
All right, here, that's sizzle. We're getting
Oh,
close
yeah.
to cook time. You don't want to just throw them in. You can if you want. I don't like to. I like to lay them in like that. You hear that noise? A sizzle? That's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.